Hey everybody, this is Tim with Op-Ed Daily. So I've got an update to the video I did about a month ago about Windows 10, and I just want to point out how bad it really is. Even when you turn your privacy settings to off, Microsoft is still sending that information to its servers. And I made this assumption in my last video based on the fact that you agreed to a EULA that specifically says, hey, Microsoft, please watch everything that I do and take that information and store it on your server and disclose that information to whomever you want. Please. That's what you agreed to when you install Windows 10. You agreed to all that stuff. So let's get a little more in depth here. So Ars Technica was doing tests about what information is being sent and whether the privacy settings actually work or not. And they reported that the Windows 10 machines were periodically sending OneDrive, which is the Google server for the cloud storage, even on a local account that isn't connected to Microsoft. So they noticed that Windows 10 would send data to a Microsoft server named ssw.live.com. Now that server seems to be used for OneDrive and other Microsoft services like Cortana, Bing Search, that sort of thing. Now, Windows 10 seems to transmit the information to the server even when OneDrive is disabled. So even if you disable your cloud storage stuff, it's still being sent to cloud storage. Just not your cloud storage. It's their cloud storage. And what are they attaching to that information that they're storing on the cloud? Your machine ID, and that machine ID includes your IP address, your MAC address, your ISP, your location, and even the direction that you have the tablet or computer tilted. Your gyroscopic information is likely on there as well. Why they need that? Who the hell knows? But they put it in there. Why not? If they can get every piece of information about you that they possibly can, why not do it? That's their logic. Hey, nobody's going to care because everybody's spying on them nowadays. And, even the Ars Technica editor, Peter Bright, he said it's not clear why any data is being sent at all, nor do they know what type of data is being reported back to Microsoft. Bright found that all this data is being sent to Microsoft servers using unencrypted channels, which means the likelihood of you being hacked is dramatically increased. So then you go over to the Ars Technica website, this article that was referenced on the techworm.net article, and it says here that they asked Microsoft if there was a way to disable the additional communication and what purpose it was serving. Microsoft told them, quote, as part of delivering Windows 10 as a service, updates may be delivered to provide ongoing new features to Bing Search, such as new visual layouts, styles, and search code. No query or search usage data is sent to Microsoft in accordance with the customer's chosen privacy settings. This also applies to searching offline for items such as apps, files, and settings on the device. Now, according to Ars Technica, that was consistent with what they saw, that there was no query or search data transmitted. But it was also likely to run counter to what most people would expect. People would expect that if they go into their private settings and they turn web searching and Cortana off, they would expect it to not go onto the internet. But as soon as you hit that start menu and you start typing something in there, even if you turned web searching off, it's sending that information to Microsoft anyway, even though you said don't do it. And the reason why they're able to do that is because when you install Windows 10, you agree to the end user license agreement, which is a 12,000 word bunch of horse crap that nobody is going to really want to read, but people did read it. And I read it. And that's the information that I put out on my last video. So if you didn't see that one, then go watch it. Or listen to it, rather. Now, I realize a lot of people don't care that they're being spied on. The logic in their mind is, well, I'm not doing anything wrong, so I don't really care if you come and look at my boring old life. But that's dangerous territory to get into. It really is dangerous territory to just say, well, you know what, I don't really care. If it helps you find terrorists, I'm okay with that. Eventually, you are going to be the terrorist. I hope you realize that. Today it's Muslim people. Tomorrow it's conspiracy theorists. The next day it's other religious people. The next day it's going to be militia members. And then the next day it might just be you, little old boring you that does nothing. Yeah, well, you may do nothing, but at some point somebody's going to say something, just like in Nazi Germany when everybody was snitching on everybody else. Which brings me to another point. On my, I believe it was my Windows 10 video, somebody said, oh, well, and in reference to me, well, his YouTube account is questionable. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? So I'm like, how is my YouTube account questionable? And this person was like, well, you liked a video that said joining ISIS, that was titled Joining ISIS. So I go on there because I was like, what the hell is that? So I go on there in my history, and sure enough, I had liked a video that said Joining ISIS. Now, this was from a user named Adam C., and this person is somebody that frequents my channel. He asked me to go and view one of his videos, so I did. It was a decent video, but at the time I don't believe it was called Joining ISIS. I'm pretty sure it was called something else. So he must have later changed the title, which you can do, of your videos. And it was not a ISIS sympathizing video. It was denouncing ISIS, as a matter of fact. So one, that person never even watched the video that he claimed made me questionable, just based off the title of it. And the point I'm making here is that it literally, that's all it takes, is for somebody to remove context from a situation and then tell the government or the FBI or somebody, hey, look at this guy. He's liking videos on YouTube that have to do with ISIS. And then boom, guess what? You're using a Windows 10 machine. Microsoft, do you think they're going to hold that information from the NSA or the FBI or the CIA? Of course they won't. And I'm no ISIS member. I mean, you can go through my channel and look at all the shit I talk crap about ISIS over. But that's all it would take. It wouldn't matter at that point. And do you think you're going to get any public support if that happened to you? If somebody, if you were mistakenly accused of being a terrorist. I mean, this is like it's like McCarthyism with the commies. That's what this is. But now it's with terrorists. Everybody, oh, God, you're a terrorist. You're a terrorist. You're a terrorist. No, you're a terrorist. I mean, they were literally doing that back then. It's ridiculous. So now all it takes is somebody to say something and you're in a whole heap of shit. Because then your entire life is going to get dissected. Anything and everything that you've done that was ever bad, that they've got logged in some server somewhere, they're going to pull it up. Now, had they not been spying on you this whole time, they couldn't have done that. But from here on out, if you use Windows 10, anything and everything you do, say, look at, like, view, appreciate, or whatever, a search for, all of that information is being stored and will be disclosed at the discretion of Microsoft. If that makes you comfortable, then I don't know what's going to make you uncomfortable. But after watching this video, I almost bet you in the future, when you start to type something, you will question whether or not you should actually do a search for it on your computer, because they're going to know what you are looking at and who you are and where you are. It really is that bad, guys. So, my job here is to inform you. Your job is to make an informed decision. So now that you're informed and you understand what is behind all of this, then whatever decision you make going forward is your own, and that's entirely your choice. And nobody can tell you not to do it, but I can suggest to you not to do this, because the more people that say no to Windows 10, the more likely it's going to be to tell other software developers and other operating system creators that we're not going to stand for this anti-privacy crap. And the same goes for Facebook and Google and everybody else that has these normal EULAs that basically give up your right. And you can also look at it in this way. The government has to work within the confines of the Constitution, and we have a Fourth Amendment that protects us against illegal searches and seizures unless the government has a warrant. But guess what? That doesn't apply to corporations. Corporations can get you to sign a contract that can give up any of that information to anybody they see worthy of that information, which is exactly what it says. And guess who is able to access that information? The government, even without a warrant. If they come to Microsoft and say, hey, has this machine ID ever accessed anything like this? They can pull it up in their server, and there it is. It's almost like government is using corporations as a tool to circumvent the Constitution. So it sounds like we need an amendment that says any business that operates within the United States has to abide by all constitutional law and cannot create rules, policies, or any contractual agreements that circumvent any of those constitutional rights. And that's just the way it should be. All right, everybody, you've got the information. What you do with it from here is all up to you. This is Tim with Op-Ed Daily. Peace out.